Are we ready? Are we ready to start this party maybe a little early so we can say hello? Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode on Genealogy TV, this time live. I thought I would jump on a little early. So for those who are watching the replay, it is 1:51 p.m. on the East Coast. So we're about 9 minutes before we're going to really actually start the presentation. Give time for everybody to get in here. And so I just wanted to say hello and take a look at some of the, excuse me, some of the folks in the queue here. I love watching where everybody is watching from. You'll have to forgive me while I look up. I've got multiple screens around, and I'm trying to make sure that I get a chance to see everybody in here. Hang on one second while I while I do something here. So what's fun about this is, oh wow, we got a whole bunch of people coming in now. Let me go take a look at the queue here. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can send this over. And please stand by while I figure out what button to push. Hang on one second. I'm trying to get it so that I can see everybody in here. And I lost my social. Please stand by. I'm almost there. I promise. Where did it go? It's here somewhere. Where did it go? Y'all, this is so funny. This is what live is all about, right? I was going to put everybody's comments up there and where everybody's watching from. And I see Australia and Indiana and San Antonio, Edmondson, Texas. It is so much fun to do lives. And so, also know that there's going to be an after party too. Oh, and by the way, while we're here, BTW, as I always say, make sure you're subscribed and that you like the channel. That would be really helpful for me. I'd appreciate it. So I'm just looking at all the people coming in. We got UK and just tons of folks coming in. And I swear I'm going to find this way to put this back up. I was just playing with this a second ago and I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I didn't know. Well, this is kind of crazy. My name's Connie Knox, in case you're wondering, who the heck is this woman who can't seem to find the right button? Hi, everybody. I'm Connie's assistant. There's Ashley's in the house. Yay! Ashley, for those of you who don't know Ashley, she is my assistant and just, I can't say enough great things about her. So if you guys put tickets in the ticket system or whatever, you're going to see Ashley there. And she's often the one who first, who's the first responder for Genealogy TV, because I'm often trying to focus on creating content. And so, my goodness, there's a lot of folks in here from Utah, more from the UK. I think I saw Scotland earlier. I know there's one of our Academy members from Arizona is in here. We got Indiana, a couple from Indiana, Ontario, Fort Myers, Florida, Texas. Holy smokes. So this is fun. This is killing me though that I can't find my ability to put you guys on the screen for a second here. Hang on one more second here. I know I'm going to find it. It just disappeared. I was just fixing things a moment ago. And it was like, oh, hang on. Here we go. There we go. Now I've got them going. Sorry about that, you guys. So we'll send a few of them up there. Thank you, Miss Shelley. I appreciate that. We've got Virginia, Cortland, Virginia, and Silver Lake, New Jersey. So I kind of have to look in 16 different directions to send this stuff up. But yeah, it's This is always fun. When things work, things are fun. This is why I go on a little bit early before the presentation so that I can get going. So for those of you who are watching on the replay and don't want to see all of this, know that we'll get started here in 4 minutes. So if you want to fast forward, if you are watching on the replay, which those of you who are here live right now, you can't fast forward because you're live. But I'm just saying, just saying. Oh, we have East Kentucky and Clearwater, Florida. So here's what I think I'm going to do, because this is kind of an action-packed presentation. I mean, there's a lot going on here, and so I will probably be moving quite fast. So make sure that you, in the description of this video, make sure that you are signed up for the after party if you want to come ask questions, because I don't know that I'm going to have time to take questions on the live show here and now, because this is probably going to take a full hour, if not more, and then we're going to start the after party on Zoom. And that is where we all can get together and see each other, and you can ask questions there. And so there should be a link in the description box. Miss Ashley, if you could double check that, I'd appreciate it, but I'm pretty sure I put it in there. Poor Ashley. There were people working on her fiber, and they cut her, I guess there were some workers out in the street or something, and they cut her fiber. So she has been without internet for the last 24 hours, and we've been all kind of scrambling to try and get this party ready to go. Good morning from Queensland, Australia. It's nearly 5 a.m. getting ready for the day's work. Oh my goodness, you are dedicated. And so, yeah, I appreciate everyone who is here right now. I'm going to get this party started here in about 2 minutes. So we're just kind of putting people out there on the screen. Wyoming is in the house. Look at that. I have ancestors in that area. Okie dokie. We got 2 minutes to go. California. Oxnard, California. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Ashley, for letting me know that the link is in the description. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'm going around in circles here on some of these people, whether you have already gotten your name on the screen or not. Is there a handout for today? Yes, for the people who are at the level for the handout. So that's and we'll talk about that when the presentation starts briefly, but it's also available on genealogytv.org/handouts. Forgive me while I sip water, because, you know, allergy season. All right, 1 minute to go. We're going to get this going. I want to make sure that everybody here is aware. Please subscribe and make sure you like the video if you find it valuable. I do appreciate it. So we got quite a few folks going here. We're going to just hang out for just another minute, and then we're gonna get started. I'm still throwing people on the screen here. Hang on. Whoops. Social. There we go. Yep. Very cool. All right. It is now 2 o'clock. So let's do this. We'll take everybody off the screen here, and we will get this party started right now. Okay, so if you're brand new here and you've never subscribed to the channel before, I would hope that you would find this valuable enough to subscribe. It's free. The like button is also free. So I'd appreciate the help. It helps push the algorithm out there, and it says, hey, people are liking what she's doing. And so let's send it out to more folks. So that's my story. So as we have been saying hello, continue to please fill up the chat with where you're from. I like to watch it, and I do like to read them afterwards too. So make sure you're putting that in there. Can you believe it is fall already? Holy cow. Where did the summer go? All right, so a quick plug. This video is being brought to you by the Genealogy TV Academy. The Black Friday sale starts officially right now. If you want to be a part of it, you can get 33% off. Use the promo code THANKS33 at checkout. And if you choose, there's monthly or annual membership. So if you choose the annual membership, you get an extra 10% off to start. Then stack that promo code on top of it. And it's the biggest sale of the year. That's starts today. And I'm doing this early because, you know, I kind of want to have Thanksgiving weekend off. So instead of doing Black Friday on Black Friday, we're doing it now through next week. So that's it. Genealogytv.org if you want to sign up. Okay? All right. Yes, there is a handout for this. This is for the Academy members. That it's in the lesson. I don't think we actually have it posted yet, but it will be in the lesson for Academy members, or you know how to get a hold of Ashley. She'll send it to you if you're an Academy member. YouTube channel members who are at the information access level, you would get the handout on the YouTube channel in the membership tab. So that's where you go for that. And if you're on Patreon, you would go to Patreon. It probably got emailed to you earlier today because I believe I sent it out. And it would also be in the post there if you are at the Happy Dance level on Patreon. And of course, if you're not a member, you can purchase it over at genealogytv.org/handouts. And that is a 9-page handout. It's pretty lengthy. You know me, I can't stop writing. I just keep going. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about new DNA strategies, new technologies, review some of the methodologies that are still proven and still working, and some of the new DNA methods that are coming out, and why and how you should combine with traditional genealogy. We're going to talk briefly about the Genealogy TV Academy. There is a contest. Stick around. There is a description. There's a link in the description box for that. And then we'll probably end up having to take your questions in the after party if you want to be a part of the Zoom. We're going to do that just as soon as I can shut this down and get back onto Zoom. You know, grab a sip of water or something. So registration is required for the Zoom. That is just for the security of everybody. So that link is in the description box below. I still see people, hi there, from Philadelphia and Central Texas, Melbourne, Australia, Fairview, Oregon. Welcome, welcome everybody. Today's platforms that we're talking about is Ancestry, MyHeritage, and just briefly a little bit about Family Search. Even though Family Search doesn't have DNA, we have some technologies over there that we still want to utilize, okay? So if you have any questions, you would start that with QQQ, and I would just hold your questions to the end of the presentation, but quite honestly, it probably, because of the length of this presentation, I may not be able to get to it until the Zoom after party, okay? Contests. Yes, there is. So MyHeritage has kindly given me some DNA kits to give away. And so we're going to be doing that by random draw. There is a link in the description on how to sign up for that. And we'll talk about why you might want to do that. Let's rethink how we research and how we use DNA in our research. Okay. So why use DNA in the first place? Well, we're trying to we're always doing this, right? We're trying to find that community of people who descend from our common ancestors that will help us with our family history research, okay? And so DNA cousin matches kind of equal family trees, which then help us with clues. But I highly recommend that you're going to kind of do that traditional genealogy research first, and then you can start looking at their family trees and such. We'll talk about it. When should you use DNA? I suggest, this is my personal opinion, but I suggest that you do this after traditional research is complete for the ancestor in which you are researching. Look for clues specific to that ancestor or family unit. So it might be, husband, wife, and children as a family unit. And brick walls. If you have brick walls and or unidentified parents, specifically, these are great reasons why you would want to use DNA, when to use DNA in your research, okay? So how far back is DNA useful? 3 to 4 times great-grandparents, depending. So here's mine. I did this the other day as I was starting to put this presentation together, and I got to thinking, how far back does my DNA go? And this is what I would say the proven lines. I'm sure that there is more back there in the fourth generation, fourth times great-grandparent line. But the thing is, I haven't proven everything up to that point. So I want to make sure that the DNA cousins that I'm finding that are farther back into these areas are actually their descendants from the 4 times great-grandparents before I, go and color code my tree a little bit further. But this is an example of, sometimes because of recombination with our DNA, and I'll explain that more in a minute, but we might not inherit DNA from all the branches of the tree. So there's going to be times when DNA is not going to help you if you're researching an area of the tree that is kind of empty with DNA ancestors or DNA cousin matches. A great way to figure this out as to who to look at is, I've had this, you've probably seen this G-rule graphic before if you've been following me for any time. If you are looking at a long list of DNA matches and you have some cousins up there, we're going to talk more about how to go about doing this, but I call it the G-rule. Great-great-great-grandparents equals fourth cousins, right? Count the G's. So every great is a G and grandparents is a G. So put that together and now you can go, okay, now I know where to look. If I'm looking for a 3 times great grandparent in my family tree or grandparents, ancestral couple, then I should be looking for fourth cousins. Just a quick and dirty way to figure it out. Now there's going to be some craziness with first cousins once removed, twice removed, and so on, but pretty much it's that fourth cousin bucket that you're going to be looking for that 3 times great grandparent. Okay. So where should you focus your time? Well, remember, we have a lot of grandparents and great-grandparents and great-greats and great-great-greats, and it just keeps going. So this is the 4 times great-grandparents. We have 64 of them. So you might want to use your time wisely. If you've already proven your DNA or you're already proven your lineage in some of these branches, then you might not need to go digging around in your DNA unless you're just, having fun chasing it. So also remember that we get roughly half of our DNA from our parents and, each of our parents, and therefore a roughly half. And it's, by the way, it's not half of every little piece of their DNA. It's all mixed up and it could be a little bit of this and a whole lot of nothing, it's like, so as we go back in time, you can see that it divides in half each time. So when we're talking about, our 3 or 4 times great-grandparents, 5, 6 times great-grandparents, we're starting to get way below, like 6 times great-grandparents is well below 1% DNA. So I've expanded the tree a little bit further here where you can see that we're going out to the 6 times great-grandparent. And at the 4th great-grandparent, we only have about, if we're lucky, if we inherited it, 1.5% of that grandparent's DNA. So we got to be thinking about how and where we should be focusing our time. So how far back can you go in time? Well, if we kind of factor about 25 years per generation, you can kind of guess that our 4 times great-grandparents might be about 150 years, I think is what that says. And so just keep that in mind as we're going back in time. You know, this is one of the reasons why we always say that it's kind of insistent that we do traditional genealogy in combination with. So fifth cousins share a common ancestor with our 4 times great-grandparents, okay? So let's think about where we're focusing. So let's pretend for a moment that we're focusing on this ancestral couple. And so this is our 3 times great-grandparents. We're looking for 4th cousins. And so if we have this cluster of the little red circles represent DNA matches, if you haven't figured that out yet. If we are kind of working on this assumption that we're going to create this little cluster of people from this ancestral couple, then we're looking for those 4th times great-grandparents. But what's cool is some of the new technology that we have now. Yes, you might have to pay for a little bit extra to see some of it, but we can now see how some of these people relate to each other as well. So keep in mind that we're all descending from this ancestral couple. If we have filtered our matches correctly, and we'll talk about that, but if we filtered our matches to this ancestral couple, and we know that these cousins are in our cluster, our little genetic network here, we can now, in some cases, figure out how these DNA cousins relate to each other. And for example, maybe this 4th cousin, and this is my 4th cousin and my 4th cousin once removed, they may be parent-child. So that helps us start to build the family tree, okay? So as our regular tree, you can use floaters, you can use the whole floating tree strategy or whatever, genetic networks, you can do all kinds of things to start building out your family tree. And I highly recommend, by the way, before I forget to say it, please use the family tree in which your DNA is connected. I would not, some of the strategies I'm going to talk about today, I would not be adding a new tree. Some people like to have a separate tree, and it only causes you more work in the long run. So just saying. Of course, you can then go look in their family trees and see if they have any clues after you have done your reasonably exhaustive research in your traditional research. So if you're looking for that one ancestral couple, try and do all the research you can before you go into doing DNA. So let's talk briefly about the evolution of DNA, because I see a lot of people really complain sometimes about DNA and ethnicity estimates and all kinds of things. And so we're only 13 years into this. The United States Ancestry, for example, started in 2012 with consumer DNA testing. UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada followed in 2015, followed by a whole bunch more in 2016. So we are, I like to think of us as pioneers. We are on the frontier of DNA. We are the first. And so you should be proud and happy that we can do that. And so my opinion, and I really think most people, most professional genealogists agree, that the number one thing that you can do with your DNA match list is to group them into branches of your family tree. And this is just a graphic I mocked up just for the sake of example, but you can see here that I have my Henley circle, my Jensen circle, my Booth, Winslow, Clark, my close family, which these guys aren't really close, but you get the idea. We can group our DNA matches by branches of the family tree that help us to start to filter down this very big, Ancestry now has like 27 million DNA kits. I forget what the latest number is at MyHeritage and so on. So it's amazing to me that we have so many new opportunities coming before us. And so it's kind of cool. So just seriously, if you do nothing else, start learning how to group if you don't know how to do that already. So once we've started grouping and filtering our matches into those family branches of the tree, right? We can then figure out who are best known, that's what the BKM means, best known match for each branch or ancestral couple. So let's say you're going to take your great-grandparents, if you know who they are. You can then go to your DNA match list, figure out who is the highest centimorgan count for that branch in the tree. And then you can even make a little note in there. This is my best known match for this family ancestral couple. And then you click into that match and you get to the shared matches tool here. This is on Ancestry is what I'm demonstrating right now. Click on the shared matches tool, ignore the right column because I'm a Pro Tools user, but the left column would show you your relationship to all of those people. Of course, I have a lot of it blurred out here for the sake of privacy, but you can see my first cousins here in this screen. Now, my best known match, if you have Pro Tools, you will see some more information here. We'll get into that more here in a moment. So you want to identify the branch you want to research. You want to find your best known match for that branch, and then you want to drill into the best known match and click on the shared matches tool. That's how you get to this point, okay? I see somebody has 93 Clarks in their family tree. Hi, cousin. Okay, so here we're on MyHeritage. MyHeritage has the same thing. When you go to the match list, you identify the branch, you click into the best known match. You have to scroll down a little bit on MyHeritage. There's not a shared matches button like there is on Ancestry. But if you scroll down, you get the exact same screen. How the relationship is to the best known match, how the relationship is to me. And so it's that, that understanding of how they relate to each other, which can be very helpful. So back over on Ancestry now, if we click into the Shared Matches tool, we can then select everybody. If we know that my best known match is, say, from my Matson-Jensen line, I can then come over and I can add them to, well, it looks like this one's a Davis-Henley line. So I can add them to one or many groups that I create. You can create a new group up here. So a lot of this that I'm telling you right now is not new, with the exception of the fact that we can start to see the relationship with other DNA cousins. So back over on MyHeritage now, if you want to group them, you use the labels. So you have to click on filters in order to see this little button here. But then you can create a new label. They call them labels. Ancestry calls them groups. It's all the same thing. And then you can add these people with the check marks, right? Here we go. Hit filters, hit labels, create a new label, and then hit the check mark, and then you can add that person to your panel, okay? Back over on Ancestry now. If we go to the Filters tab, we have the opportunity to filter. We can stack our filters, which I think a lot of people don't realize you can do this. So you can stack your filters by new matches. You can stack them by the type of tree, whether they're private, public. You can stack them by the type of shared DNA that you have with them, maternal or paternal. You can also use this parent over here. By parent is the same as this by parent, with one exception. In this by parent, and I don't have a screenshot for you, but if you click on this down arrow, if you started your DNA journey several years ago, before they split between parents, you could have labeled your own, like, oh, I know this cousin is from my father's side. I'm going to label parent number 1 to be my father, or parent number 2, doesn't really matter. But depending on, you could have labeled them. So those labels are still in there. They're technically groups, but those are still in there. I advise you to use this by parent up here because it's Ancestry's automatic labeling. And if you had done that previously, where you labeled parent 1 or parent 2 to be maternal or paternal, then that list of people is only going to be as good as the last time you added people to it. So if there's been new members come along, new DNA matches that have come along, you're not going to see them in that list. That's why I suggest you use the Ancestry's maternal and paternal thing. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so here we can search for a surname, which I think a lot of people forget about this too. So if you want to search for people who have, in my case, I've typed in Winslow. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of small. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can make that just a little bit bigger for you. Let's go full screen for a second. So here I've typed in Winslow. So now you got to keep in mind, though, that Winslow is only going to be as good as those trees that have the name Winslow in it and spelled that way. So those are basically surnames within the trees of your matches. So if there are matches out there that don't have or haven't done any research to that point, then you're not going to see it there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So moving on. You can also search or filter. Believe it or not, these are all filters up here too, even though they don't say filters. These are all filters. On Ancestry here, you can search by location, and these are your DNA cousin matches, again, by location. So if you're searching, I do a lot of work in North Carolina, so if I'm searching in North Carolina, I might want to zoom in on this map to the North Carolina cousins and see if there are any descendants there living that might have some of the same, that may have inherited the family farm year after year after year, generation after generation, and they're still in the area. So there's that. So DNA, Ancestry DNA has some new tools, and we briefly touched on this, and that is the shared matches tool. But before we go there, what we want to do is identify the branch of the tree in which we are researching. So figure that out before you even go into your DNA match list, is figure out who it is that you want to search. Then you want to click on that shared matches tool, as we talked about before. In this first column is me, even though it's blurred out. This is match number 1 is my first cousin. Match number 2 is my second cousin, or half first cousin once removed. This is my best known match because I drilled into my best known matches profile so that we would see the shared matches between us. And the cool part is, with this Pro tool on this side, is that we can see the relationship between the best known match and match number 1. In this case, I am closer to match number 1 than this because it's sorted by this column. And yes, you can sort by your best known match. But before we get there, what's nice about this is it shows you how they relate. So this, my best known match, this is her niece. Much closer to her than me. So there is a sort up at the top where you can sort by your best known match. And a lot of times you'll see a parent-child relationship or very close, siblings, that kind of thing. So you can really start to build out the family tree that way, to help figure out how everything lines up. Okay. I see a question here. It says, I manage several DNA kits. Oh, it just went away. I think she was asking how, here it is. I manage several DNA kits, mine, my mother's, my sister's, and my husband's. Does each kit have to be attached to its own tree? I would suggest everybody be in the same tree if you can. And then at the top, you can change who you're looking at, whether it's yourself or a different kit that you manage. I'm pretty sure you can still do it that way. I was just doing it the other day. One of the new tools over there at Ancestry is their networks. Now, this is not a DNA tool, but they are suggesting here that you can use it as a DNA tool. If you want to take a group of people and create a network. Personally, I think it's much easier to take your DNA cousins and group them, because they're, right now at least, there is not a way that you can add DNA cousin matches to a network. This was originally designed to be able to network people together from a record. For example, whoops, I went too far. For example, I used a passenger list. I've used wedding registries. I've used all kinds of things to create little networks, newspaper articles, that kind of stuff, wills. You can create networks of people so that it shows up in their profile as being a network. I love the networks. It's a great addition. So Ancestry is now on board. Again, this is a pro tool, but Ancestry is on board with the clustering. Now, MyHeritage has had this for years, and we've been using it over there at MyHeritage for a while, but now Ancestry has managed to come on board with the DNA clustering. So basically what this is the same cousins across the top as it is down the side, okay? And so when you follow the lines, I guess, you can see where they intersect. So all of these people, all of these colors is the group. It is the same as grouping. It is a cluster, all coming from, you can identify, a lot of times you can look at these DNA matches and figure out what the ancestral couple was. And when you click on that little colored box, you can actually see how much DNA they share with each other. So here we have NN and CC, whoever those people are, they share 211 centimorgans. Okay, so we've got an idea now roughly how, we can go over to DNA Painter or whatever and figure out roughly what relationship they would be. Now, 211 centimorgans, there's going to be a lot of variables. They could be, second or third cousins, once removed, twice removed. There's aunts, uncles. There's all going to be an overlap of possible relationships. One of the things I forgot to tell you, on the standard clusters, it goes down to 65 centimorgans. But now, just recently released within the last few weeks, has been custom clusters. And I don't know that a lot of people are aware of this, but you can now do custom clustering on Ancestry. And what I have done here, I think you can see that. You can pick your primary person, usually your best known match for a branch in the tree. And now you can pick others that you also want, like maybe they're first cousins. In this case, they are first cousins, DH and NN. I barely can see that up there in the corner, but they are first cousins. Once removed to me, both of them are first cousins to each other, but they are first cousins once removed to me in an upward direction. What does that mean? That means that they were first cousins with my father. Okay, so using the elder generation is often helpful as well. And the nice part about the custom clusters is it goes down to 20 centimorgans now to help create clusters. Now, I know a lot of people still are having trouble getting clustering to work. If you have endogamy or pedigree collapse, you might have some challenges there. But once you start finding these people, you can actually start adding them. You can actually add more people as well to these to the cluster. And as you can see, it goes from 20 centimorgans to 1,300 centimorgans. So there is an upper limit. So this is best used for more distant relationships. So if we are looking for 2 times great-grandparents, 3 times great-grandparents, custom clustering might be a better option than looking at your standard clusters, okay? So we have a lot of really nice options. Then you can add them all to a list. We'll show you more about that here in a minute, but you could add more people to this cluster if you wanted to. And then you can open up, here you can see, so the cluster, I moved the cluster to the top. Here I opened up 18 matches for this cluster. I could add all of them to a new group. This is why it's easier to use grouping instead of networking. But you can do that. All right, so why create custom clusters? Now this is from Ancestry's blog, okay? Clustering around a certain match can help you fill in missing parts of your tree. Discover matches who share DNA with a match of your choice, likely because they all come from the same ancestor. You can even add up to 4 additional related matches, which we'll call sidekicks. So remember the second cousin that I had added in there, that's the sidekick they're talking about. And that helps narrow your results even further. Custom clustering goes beyond enhanced shared matches, showing you not just matches you share with a match, but also who's related to those matches. When you create custom clusters, you can also choose a centimorgan range you want, from 20 centimorgans on the low end to 1,300 centimorgans on the high end. So the standard clusters, by the way, go all the way up to parent-child. I think it's 3,500 centimorgans, which would be a parent-child relationship, okay? So just as a reminder, how low can you go? This is my little limbo guy, right? How low can you go? So with DNA clusters, you can go down to standard clusters down to 65 centimorgans. With custom clusters, it is 20 centimorgans. So I'm going to take a quick sip here for a second. If you're ever curious as to what the different relationships would be, go over to DNA Painter. I find it to be a better tool than most. And you can go over to dnapainter.com, click on the Shared Centimorgan Project, and then type in the centimorgans. And it'll give you the estimated relationships. Now, if you kind of know that it's not a nephew or a niece, then you could cross those off, and through a process of elimination, you might be able to figure it out. You can also hit this little percentage button right here if you want to add, do 1.5% and see what the DNA range is. So you can do that. Okay. Oh, might help if I pull that up full so you can see the whole thing. Okay, so moving on. How to pick a match of interest. So this again is from the blog at Ancestry, and they give you several options. They're saying pick, and all of this is in the handout, by the way. I think it is. Pick a second or third cousin. If you have close cousin matches, choose a cousin related to you through your brick wall ancestor to find other matches. So they're just giving you suggestions on how you might go about using this. So look for unique clues, prioritize matches that have distinctive last names, unique locations, or trees that don't overlap with your known relatives. Another idea was to follow your curiosity. Choose a match that doesn't fit into your known family tree or who you're curious about. Start with brick walls. Focus on a match whose linked to part of your tree where there's an unknown ancestor. Check your shared matches. A good candidate might have shared matches you don't recognize and can't place, hinting at an unknown branch. Okay? So here's an example of where I had created a network, but this was actually a passenger list, but you could do the same thing. You don't have to have necessarily Pro Tools. You could create these genetic networks in an Excel file. Here I created a kind of a genetic network from a passenger list because I didn't want to create for privacy reasons, one about DNA, but you get the idea. I mean, you can do it in Google Sheets. I think this one's Google Sheets. It is. Create groups with Pro Tools. You can add them all at one time. Okay, so let's talk briefly about origins. Very briefly, because I really don't want to talk about origins and or ethnicity estimates. They've gotten away from the term ethnicity estimates and called it origins because they're saying that it goes deeper now. This is like last resort. Don't go looking at your ethnicity estimates if you're truly in the research mode, because I find it doesn't help. Focus on your cousin matches and grouping them to the family trees. Okay, use those locations if you want to do things by locations. And then as you discover new things, go back to traditional research, especially over there at Family Search, where they have the new full text search. Now, this is not a DNA tool, but my goodness, this is probably the best DNA tool that we've got since sliced bread, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. I think that the full text search is a game changer. It is probably the best thing that we've had in genealogy research in quite a long time. Keep in mind that all the DNA kits are on sale right now. So as you are thinking about the holidays and going, oh, I'm going to buy grandma a DNA kit, please ask before you buy someone a DNA kit as a gift. I know it kind of spoils the surprise, but if you don't know that they may not want to take a DNA test, and you might put them in an awkward position. So just know that surprises can happen as well when taking a DNA test. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, here's some new technology for you. MyHeritage has the whole genome sequencing now. And I'll tell you what, for $29 right now, it's on sale. You can get a DNA kit. I got mine. You can get a DNA kit and be on the forefront of technology because they are now doing whole genome sequencing. So what is whole genome sequencing, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because here's what look, I'm not a genetic genealogist, but I know a fair amount about it. So Ancestry, MyHeritage, all of them with the autosomal DNA, which is what they all do. That's the, Family Finder over there at Family Tree DNA. That's the family tree stuff is autosomal DNA, and that's where you get 50% of your DNA from each parent, and gets split in half on the generations. Well, traditionally, that has been this microarray DNA test where they have 700,000 markers that they were testing. Now, keep in mind, too, that not all the tests at the different companies were the exact same 700,000 markers. Now, with whole genome testing, it's pretty much the whole genome, which is about 3 billion base pairs. And so, where's this going to take us, you ask? Well, we're not exactly sure yet, but we're learning. Here's what MyHeritage has said from their blog, by the way. It says, enabling MyHeritage to deliver more accurate ethnicity results, improved DNA matching, and new genetic genealogy products. However, this revolution will not happen overnight. First, the database, whole genome sequences, need to grow. I want to be part of that, okay? Then MyHeritage will be able to, and strongly intends to, rephrase, re-input the rematched, all the data for all existing MyHeritage DNA customers, leading to better results for everyone, even those whose samples were not processed with the whole genome sequencing. So they are working on it, but it's our job to really kind of help kick off this, in my opinion. Look, they're not paying me to say this. I just need to tell you, they did give me some DNA test kits to give away. But other than that, I think this is the leading edge. Again, MyHeritage is on the forefront. One of the things that we need to talk about is the difference between chromosome browsers and chromosome painters. So over at MyHeritage, we've had for quite a while the chromosome browser. This is where you can pick several of your DNA cousins to see where on the various chromosomes that you match with these cousins. Here I have picked myself and 2 other people that I know come from one branch of the tree. And you can see in the boxes here, this is triangulation. While we share DNA on some of these other areas, if all 3 of us don't match in the same place, it's not triangulation. So we need to be on the same chromosome at the same place. And what does that triangulation mean, you ask? I'm glad you asked. It means that that is the DNA of our ancestors that we have in common. So with time, we could sit there, enough DNA kits, we might be able to rebuild the DNA of our ancestors and see how far back we can go with that. So I think this is kind of cool. Over at Ancestry, they have the chromosome painter. This is completely different, so don't compare the two because they're totally different. This is where Ancestry is painting the chromosomes with your origins results. And so here you can see, I don't know if you can see that up full or not. Let me get that a little closer. You can see that, we have Central Scotland, Northern Ireland, that kind of stuff in green. So you can kind of see it that way. Personally, I don't find a lot of use in this. It's entertaining to look at. You can also split it by maternal and paternal. And it's very similar to looking at your origin split by parent. So, I mean, it's kind of fun to look at, but I don't know that it really helps us right now with our family history research. Another thing you need to know is that MyHeritage is no longer accepting download. Like, so you could have downloaded your DNA. A lot of us did from, say, Ancestry and upload it to MyHeritage. They are no longer allowing that because of the new testing that they're doing. I don't think they can make all that work. So they're busy over there. I know they are. And so just saying, you can't upload it over there anymore. So for $29, you too can get into the whole genome sequencing. I think that's the lowest price I've ever seen a DNA test. And this is a low pass test. There's a whole bunch of information about that on their blog if you want to look at it. And that blog post, you can either Google it or you can go over there to the link, I think, is in the handout as well. So here's my advice. Focus on one branch at a time. Start with what you know, filter your DNA matches, build your tree with the matches of interest. Okay? So as we think about this whole process, thinking maybe how we might want to retool our strategies on how we do this. Identify that branch of the tree. Use traditional genealogy first. Please. Go do that reasonably exhaustive research on that ancestral couple before you start digging into the DNA. I know that we have been talking a lot about DNA lately, and it has been a big buzzword, and especially with all of this new genome sequencing and everything going on, clustering and all that, it's fun. But let's get the traditional done first. And the reason for that is because if you do, then you will be able to see more details in the DNA matches. You'll start to recognize, oh, wait a minute, this DNA cousin belongs to this branch because I know because he showed up in that will. The traditional research I already did, right? So identify your research question once you've got that done and filter to that branch. Identify your best known match for the target ancestors. Group your or cluster your best known matches. Use the shared matches tool whenever possible. And if you have the ability to see their relationships, that would be awesome. And view the quality matches for clues. Add floaters to your tree. This is where you're now starting to build out your tree, your real tree, with your DNA matches so you can start to figure out how everything connects. And you can do that with the floating tree strategy. There's several videos on my channel about the floating tree strategy. And you can use networks if you want and identify unknown quality matches. Determine how they connect and add them to the tree. So the reason why we use floaters in the tree, these are disconnected little branches of our tree in our tree that our DNA is connected to. The reason we do that is so that once we figure it out, we can easily connect them without having to rebuild that whole section of the tree because maybe you did it in a separate tree. Then return to traditional research to investigate new findings and rinse and repeat for the next generation, right? I would avoid reaching out to DNA matches until you've done your reasonably exhaustive research and then you have a little bit more information to be armed. Please don't cut and paste and copy the same email into 15 different DNA cousins just to see who takes the bait. All right, so what is real? What can you count on with DNA? Well, what is real are your DNA matches. The research that you conduct is real, and the records that you find are real. Whether they're accurate or not, that's another story, but it's real stuff. It's tangible stuff. What needs to be verified are family trees that are attached to anything, the member trees. No matter what platform you're on, you always want to verify that stuff. Ethnicity estimates need verification. And then records can have errors. So keep all of that in mind. So we kind of go around the circle, right? We identify, we do that traditional research, we strategize which branch, we do our grouping or clustering to our best known match, and then we do research of our new discoveries in the traditional form, and then we can go back and start the DNA process again. Honestly, DNA is one of the last things I do. I do look at it though. It's a lot of fun, but I do look at it. So there is a contest giveaway for my Heritage DNA kits. The link is in the description if you want to sign up for a chance to win. And there is also hopefully a link to the contest rules. I think I put that in there. It's definitely on the website. And if you want to join the after party, which is going to be starting in a little bit, make sure you check out the registration link below. So hopefully you found something useful in that. Let me tell you a little bit about today's sponsor. Oh yeah, that's me, the Academy. Let's talk about it. So one of the things that I have discovered through, going to the camera club, cocktail parties, various places, that no one was really teaching genealogy skills the way I thought they should be taught. I kept repeating myself over and over again at these gatherings. And so I wanted to create the Genealogy TV Academy where we could learn skills. This isn't how to do your German research. This is skills on how to research, okay? And so a lot of people find that organization is a problem. And so that's one of the key components of the Academy. Record research, evidence evaluation, correlation of evidence. I'm going to stop there. Let me go back just one. Evidence evaluation is where we take one individual record and we study it for its value. We kind of read between the lines. How old is it? Is it a copy? All of that kind of stuff. We decide how much weight we're going to give to this record as we are then comparing it to other records. That correlation of evidence, the information found within it. And of course, correlation of evidence is always surrounded around our research question. We learn how to document this stuff. Usually that is in what I have coined as research notes. We do research tools and websites and things that are helpful, and research strategies as you are learning today. So the skills take you back as far as you can, ancestor after ancestor, generation after generation, just as far as the paper trail will let you. Okay? So there are two components to the Academy. There is the self-guided courses. This is basically the entire video library. I should have probably renamed that, but that's what it is there's courses that are broken out into different, some of them are the YouTube videos as we put them up there so you can watch them commercial free. And then all of the Zoom classes that we have are also up there. That's all Academy exclusive stuff. And so that's what I call the live classroom. It is a membership. We meet the first and third Wednesday of the month. One is a presentation. The other is a Q&A day. And so both of those are at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And yes, they are recorded in case you're working and you can't make it. So this coming December, I'm super excited. The first Wednesday is our presentation day, and we got a guest speaker. And that is Annette Burke-Little, and she is going to be doing a case study for us. I can't wait to see it. She's one of my very favorite instructors. So what's included at the Academy? The exclusive classroom, all the recordings of past sessions, hundreds of them at this point, all of the Academy handouts and worksheets, again, hundreds of them, Academy flagship courses, that's getting started, and smart research. So if you're brand new to genealogy, this is probably a good place to start. And then all the YouTube videos from 2021 to present day, again, so you can watch them commercial free. You don't have to watch all the commercials in the YouTube, as they're putting in commercials for us. And all the handouts. So a lot of times, as you know today, there is a handout. That handout will be available free to the Academy members. And there is an insiders group on Facebook, and this is a great place to ask questions. So Q&A day happens once a month on the Zoom call, but if you have a question, you don't want to wait around, you can jump into the insiders group and ask a question there that is exclusive to the Academy. And so there's that. So here's an inside look. There are now 498 lessons in the Academy. And let's see if I can get this to roll. Oh, I'm going to have to push the button. So the Academy also has a handouts library. We kind of jumped ahead a little bit there on the slide, but there are multiple courses there for the YouTube videos, the inside videos. This is what you're seeing, kind of a fast forwarding video, is all of the handouts from everything I've ever produced, all in one place in the Academy. And they're searchable. So that's where that is. So everything is available as part of the membership. So we talked about the community. I love the insiders. These guys are great. It's so much fun. We get in there and talk about all kinds of things. And a lot of times we give heads up to each other. Hey, did you notice that, Ancestry now has full text search? And by the way, have you seen it? Just saying. All Access Pass is 2 Zoom calls a month. It is the Academy dashboard with all the courses and all of the handouts and worksheets. It is on sale now. This is the Black Friday sale. We only do this once a year. Normally, it is $62 a month. You can choose monthly or annual, but with the Black Friday sale, you add the coupon code THANKS33 in hit apply coupon, and it will remove the 33% off. And so the regular rate being $62, it takes $20 off a month. That brings it down to $41.54 a month. You can get everything, everything I produce all in one place with the Thanks33 promo code. And that is for life. So if you have been an Academy member and you want to come back, you can at the whatever coupon code you used last. You can still rejoin. It should give you that discount. There is an annual option. Oh my goodness. Annual option is awesome because you get 10% off to start with. So by taking 10% off, that's almost $75 off of the annual rate. And in the cart, you'll see once that 10% automatically comes off, you'll see that the annual rate is $669. Then you can stack the promo code on top of that to get that 33% off. And that brings it down to $448 a year. Oh my goodness. So let me talk about this for a minute. That's almost $300 savings. That's like almost 5 months free. Okay, so let's think about this for a moment. If you have ever taken any of the Institute courses that last a week, I love them. I've taken them myself, but it lasts a week. It's a lot of times they're deep dives into specific subjects, or you can go to a conference or whatever. A lot of times you're going to pay $500-600 to go for 1 week. Here, you get hundreds of lessons all in one place for a year. So hopefully you'll give that some consideration. Also, if you are already not an Academy member, but a YouTube channel member, or you are already a Patreon member, you don't need those anymore if you join the Academy. So you can save even more money, cancel those subscriptions, and come over here because you'll have everything you need over here. It's some of that and a whole lot more. Okay, and plus you don't have to scroll through posts to find the handouts you want. So there's that. Promo code THANKS33. It's all one word. There's no space. Okay, where are we now? What you'll learn. How to avoid making mistakes. This is a big thing for a lot of people. They're concerned about making mistakes, and so you're going to learn how to get it right. You get organized. You learn those research skills, smart research strategies, prove your lineage, and have the confidence that your tree is correct so that you can share it with family and friends. There you go. Okay. So are you ready to find your ancestors, to break down brick walls, to get organized and learn proper genealogy research? Use those same skills again and again. So my commitment to you is that if you are committed to learning, we are committed to helping you with your journey. And my guarantee is this. If you change your mind and aren't satisfied for any reason, just send me an email within 14 days of your purchase and we'll give you a full refund within 24 business hours. Okay? So I can't get it any better than that, I think. So the often asked questions are who's teaching the courses. Most of the time it's me. Next year, I hope to start bringing in more and more guest speakers, as we'll have in December here. Will the classes be recorded? Yes, they will. Is this the same as GTV channel membership and the YouTube Patreon membership? No, it is not, because there's a lot of Academy exclusive information. And this presentation that you're watching right now will only be up on the YouTube channel for a limited time. And then a version of it will be on the Academy forever and ever. And how long will this offer be available? It will be available until December 1st, which is Cyber Monday, I believe. So we're starting the Black Friday sale early because, you know, some of us actually want to take a little time off during the holidays. So now's your chance. This is the deal. I hope you can join me there. And all you have to do is go over to genealogytv.org. and hit the Get Started button when you go to the tab at the top says Join the Academy. Hit the Get Started button. I think there's also a direct link in the description on this video. And so with that, I don't know if we can put that link in the chat, Miss Ashley, or not. But we're getting ready to start the after party here in just a moment. So registration is required. So again, check the description here on the YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll see you in the Zoom. This is a great place where we can talk about all of that we've talked about today. Also know that if you want to sign up to try and win the DNA kit, it's a cheek swab, by the way, and if you want to sign up for that, you need to sign up through the link in the description box below the video here. And so with that, I hope I managed to make some sense of that. There was a lot of information there, so I hope that helped. It is 2:57. We're going to go start the after party here in just a minute. I can't believe I got through all of that. I see some comments in there. I don't know that I'm going to have a chance to really put any of you on the screen, but I am so appreciative of your time here today. And so what I'm going to do, Ashley's probably already over in the Zoom call trying to get that started, and I will be over there in about 5 minutes as soon as I get a chance to have a sip of water, and we'll see you over there, okay? All right. Thanks for joining. It's always fun to do the live streams. It really is. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.